Aries, let's talk about it. One of the most action-packed months of the year. And there is so much Aries energy that is going to be up in the cosmos. There's so much to talk about. Now, before I get started, I want to give a shout out to all the Aries that are celebrating their solar return. May it be abundant, prosperous, and may it bring you the change that you are seeking. So, March. We have two retrogrades, Venus retrograde and Mercury retrograde. And we have two eclipses. We have a lunar eclipse in the sign of Virgo, and we have a partial solar eclipse in your sign. Now, the partial solar eclipse that we're having at the end of the month in your sign is more of a minor eclipse, so it has more of a full moon energy because it is apart and away from the nodes, and it's not as intense, although what makes it intense is all the Aries energy we are kicking off the month with. So it's going to be quite an interesting month, and something that is going to change that hasn't changed in quite some time, and that is Neptune, the planet of dreams, a planet of spirituality, intuition, sensitivity, psychic energy. Neptune will also be moving into your sign at the end of the month, which is going to be major. So I want to kick off with the retrogrades that are going to occur because they have a similar pattern. As you can see on the screen, I have highlighted the first house and the 12th house because those two areas are going to be very prominent because that's where there's a lot of energy this month for Aries. Kicking off with the retrograde. So on March the 1st, we're going to have Venus that goes retrograde in the sign of Aries at 10 degrees. And Venus will start off its retrograde cycle in your first house that rules over you, your identity, your goals, what you want to achieve in this lifetime, your mind, your ego. And then Venus retrograde will eventually move into Pisces on March the 27th, which means it will enter your 12th house. So Venus being the planet of love and relationships, it's almost like it's navigating between your now, your present, your future, but then also dipping into your past. So it seems like some spiritual healing is going on because these energies are pushing you to slow down and reassess and get into the core of your heart and your emotions and your feelings with the 12th house and try to really come to an understanding or to some sort of conclusion or resolution of where is it that you stand in love or in relationships and where are you headed? Are you able to move on? Are you holding on to something? Like these questions or these themes may come up, especially with Mercury also going retrograde on March the 15th. At 9 degrees of Aries. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming up, like a lot of questions that you're going to be coming up with and a lot of answers you're going to be seeking, and you may have to address certain past situations because Mercury will also move back into your 12th house on March the 29th at the end of the month. So this shows these retrogrades, Venus and Mercury. Venus, which is love and relationships, matters of the heart. Mercury, which is a planet of the mind and communication, that there's a lot of traveling between the past, the present, and the future, navigating through certain situations so you can really move forward. Like that is what the cosmos are pushing. So it can be a very spiritual time for you and very profound for you as well. Now let's talk about the eclipses that are going to be occurring, starting off with March the 14th when we have a full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Virgo. This eclipse is going to happen at 23 degrees, but it's going to happen right at the end, so you can round it up to 24 degrees. So take a look at where that falls in your chart. I am working with the whole sign house system, so that does fall in the 6th house, but this may vary depending on house system. So because this is a lunar eclipse, so it's conjunct the south node, this is about a letting go. This is about things being released. This is about things coming to an end. This is about things changing and transforming from one form to another. That's what the South Node energy is leaving things behind, leaving the baggage behind, leaving what's not working out behind, or letting go of something. And that's not necessarily like a negative thing. I think it can be difficult for humans to comprehend that letting go can be difficult, but that's not always the case, because letting go can be so liberating. Letting something toxic go can be so freeing and such a beautiful thing. For example, the eclipse falling into your 6th house, but it will also be impacting your 12th house. 12th house being the past. The 6th house is your daily life and routine. This includes health, wellness, well-being, self-care. This also includes work, your lifestyle. So it could be as simple as letting go of a toxic, negative habit, letting go of a thing in your life that has been causing you just, negative results. Perhaps you're making a change, or you feel pushed to make a change in your lifestyle, or to make a change in your work life. This could even be like leaving a job behind that you've been in for so long, but a new opportunity has presented itself. Letting go means making room for something new. So that could manifest in a very profound way. It could be regarding your health, your wellness. It could be regarding your daily life, your lifestyle, or even work. And eclipses are very transformative, and they can be very intense. And this, of course, depends on where the eclipse falls in your chart, and especially if it's impacting like a planet in your chart. So take a look at where 23, 24 degrees of Virgo is in your chart. Okay, so that could be something huge, and a huge theme for you in the next year and a half in general, because that's where the eclipse energy will be in your 6th and 12th house axis. Let's take a look at the partial solar eclipse that will occur on March the 29th. So this will occur at 9 degrees of Aries. Take a look at where 9 degrees of Aries is in your chart. So interesting, because we're going to have Venus retrograde at 10 degrees of Aries, and we're going to have Mercury retrograde at 9 degrees of Aries. How interesting is that? A lot of 9-degree energy. So it seems like those that have 9 degrees of Aries in their chart, or something, or planet really close by to 9 degrees, are really destined for some change. So with this solar eclipse, okay, it is a minor eclipse because it's far away from the nodes. It's not as intense as you may think it is, because although, I go back and forth with this, because it gives very much full moon energy, but then if you take a look at all the retrogrades, it kind of amplifies it. And then if you look at what's occurring the day after the eclipse, Neptune entering Aries, so it seems like almost like a renewal. And with all the energy that's going on, like retrogrades are about slowing down and going backwards, and eclipses are about the future, like how we're moving forward, and the changes that are occurring that impact the future. So it seems like a lot of going back and forth, a lot of revisiting the past, but at the same time moving forward, like in the same instance. And I know that can be very confusing, but it's almost like we're going through so many different like timeline jumps, or just time is just working its magic simultaneously in a way, rather than the linear lens. So it can be quite a fascinating period to observe. So with this partial solar eclipse happening in your 1st house, this could impact your identity. This could impact you as a person, your personality, your mind, your ego, your goals, how you want to move forward in life. This is the 1st house we're looking at. So we're looking at the 1st house, which creates your entire chart. Okay? So something can change in terms of how you feel about yourself, how you feel about your identity, how you feel about your goals, and how you want to move forward to achieve. The 1st house can be seen as a manifesting area of life, because it's the energy, it's the fire that you ignite within you that gives you the courage, the determination to pursue your goals. So there could be a change there. There could also be change with relationships, because although Venus retrograde moves into Pisces on March the 27th, it still is leaving its mark there. And then we also still have Mercury retrograde, which will move on the same day as the eclipse. So they're still leaving their mark in the first house. And then also you got Neptune, the planet of spirituality and dreams and creativity, moving into your sign the next day of the eclipse. So there could be some profound changes. Like I see like a major like awakening or an epiphany, or something changes in your awareness, in your energy, even your aura. Something changes where you start to evolve, or you start to almost like embody your higher self, the most fierce, divine aspect version of yourself, and you're ready to go. Like, yes, there's retrogrades telling you to kind of slow down and revisit the past, but something ignites and changes in you. So this could be like a major shift in your identity as well. So take a look at where 9 degrees of Aries falls in your chart. That's where we're going to have Venus retrograde, Mercury retrograde, and also the eclipse. And then March the 30th, Neptune entering Aries. Since 2011, it has been in Pisces, at home in Pisces. Neptune in Aries is very uncomfortable because they're completely two different energies. So it's going to be very interesting, the manifestation of Neptune and Aries collectively, but individually, and how this may manifest for Aries is there's almost like this fierce aspect of you that's ignited. It's very spiritual. It's very indigo. You're feeling very in tune with your instincts, even though Neptune is intuition, but there's almost like this spiritual ignition that occurs. This spiritual flame ignites within you, and that spiritual warrior is activated. This divine fierceness is activated. You know, I look at this as like goddess Kali. I look at this as the warrior goddesses really coming through and igniting. You can also be very focused on your spirituality. You could be very in tune with your spirituality, have spiritual epiphanies, or even spiritual awakenings. So Aries dominance, take it easy, rest. If the energies around you are telling you to slow down, listen. Be in tune with your mind, body, soul, and spirit. And keep on moving forward with your truth, your higher truth. And this month is going to be quite transformative.